All right. So, um, as we all know, Halloween was a few days ago, and my little cousin went trick or treating. My little cousin is 4 years old. She went trick or treating, and she dressed up as one of these Nick Jr. type of cartoon characters, the Owlet. The pink costume and everything. And she went trick or treating. So they get to this one house, and there's a lady. The door's open. So, and the door's open, and the porch light is on, and everything. So obviously, the person is participating in passing out candy. So they could see into the living room and see that the lady was sitting there in her chair. And when she saw them, she gave them a look of disgust. Now, um, they waited, and they were just like, well, maybe she's going to get up in a few minutes. I think she's about to get up. She never did get up. So eventually they left. And when she when they walked away, another group of kids walked up, and there was another family walked up, and she opened the door and gave them candy. So now my 4-year old cousin's like, well, why didn't they give us candy? Why didn't she give me any candy? And so her parents have the task of explaining to her why that lady probably didn't give her any candy. And this is something that we all have to have the talk with children, especially we all have to have the talk with, you know, our children and our younger siblings and younger family members. We all have to give them that talk one day. And her mother was like, I can't believe that we still have to have this talk. And my people out there, you know exactly what talk I'm talking about. And there's another story of that I was explaining this story to one of my coworkers. My coworker is I've spoken about her before. She's from Liberia. She's from Africa, and she was taught. I explained the story to her, and she told me that um one day she was taking her daughter to the hospital because it was, I guess it was time for a checkup or something, and she got pulled over for a tail light. And this, she said, this was around the time where police brutality cases were all over the news. And she she said when she got pulled over, her daughter unbuckled her car seat and came out of the car seat, jumped in her lap, and was pleading and crying and was just like hysterical, telling the police officer, "Please don't shoot my mommy. We're good brown people." And she's taking me to. She said she's taking me to the hospital. Please don't shoot my mommy. She's a nice person. And she said the police officer just covered his face, and he was like, you know what? I'm just letting your mother know that her tail light is out, and not all police officers are bad people, and I'm not gonna hurt your mother. And then the little girl's still hysterical. She's still hollering, um, don't shoot my mommy, don't shoot my mommy. And she was saying she's taking me to the hospital. My daddy is at work and everything. And my coworker told me that when the officer left, she just pulled up and just started crying, and she couldn't believe that her daughter knew about this. And I think that we don't give children enough credit, because I know when I was little, I knew a lot more than what they gave me credit for. Children know so much more, and are, especially now that they have access to the internet, they can look up whatever they want to. And it's like they will look up something faster than an adult will. But we still have to explain these things to our children. We can't, although we may want our children to grow up and believe in this, like in this utopia, like this American utopia. We want them to grow up in the same world as the white people, and that's not their reality. Because the reality is, from the day that they're born, really from the day that they're conceived, this world is like out to get them. And we have to explain this to our children, and we don't want to. And even now, I have to make sure, because I have to make sure that my little brother, who is 11, I have to make sure that he knows that he's like socially conscious. Like even though he's in middle school, he needs to be aware of his surrounding. He needs to be aware of who he is. He needs to be aware of so much more than what other races of kids have to deal with. But that's just something that's just I honestly wish that we didn't have to still explain this to them, but that's a part of our reality. And that's a part of what people are still trying to change. Like at this moment we're still trying to change that. And I don't know when this fight will be over, but just make sure that if anything, just make sure that children, especially young black kids, just make try to make them as aware, as socially conscious as possible, because this world is not this is a code word is not for them. It's not set up in their favor. But that's it. That's kind of all I wanted to say. I want to tell this story like the same day. Like I want to tell the story when it's fresh on my mind, because I'll have more of a passion behind it. But it's like after a few days, it kind of just like simmers down. But that's all I wanted to say. This dog.